Today we're going to be taking a closer look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We will be comparing the graphics and the performance between the Xbox Series X and my $550 gaming PC. The specs are on the screen, just pause the video for a better look. If you enjoy these videos and want to support the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It will help a small channel like mine a lot. But anyway, I will be breaking down some frames and going over the performance between the two. So let's not wait any longer and get right into the breakdown. Alright, so I pretty much did another upgrade for the channel for my $500 gaming PC, which is now the $550 gaming PC, which is pretty much all good. I'm not complaining. I got this RTX 3060 Ti refurbished for $250. I was going to buy a brand new RX 6650 XT, but Micro Center was pretty much out of stock. But when I seen this card, I had to get it. I would have got this over the 6650 XT anyway. So let's see how it does versus consoles. Okay, so for Indiana Jones on the Xbox, I did not find a performance mode or a fidelity mode. So if there is a performance/fidelity mode, somebody please let me know. But I do have some solid information about the settings. Like for one, the game is running at a dynamic 1800p. And no, I do not mean 1080p, I do mean 1800p. Yes, this is a real resolution. The Xbox also targets 60 FPS, which is great for the Xbox. Now on the PC side, we will also target 4K with DLSS set to balance, which means the internal res will be around 1270p. The graphics is set to recommended settings, so for the GPU, the recommended settings was a mixture of high, medium, and low settings. So with these settings, we will also target 60 FPS. And since we are on a gaming PC, we have the luxury of playing at higher frame rates, so we can also target 120 FPS, but we will no longer target 4K, we will actually target 1440p with the same settings and the same DLSS settings as well. So now we are at an internal res of 847p, which is actually a common internal resolution for games on next-gen consoles when you select performance mode. So with these settings, we will also target 120 FPS. So let's start with the performance. This scene right here is a very demanding scene, but the Xbox Series X is able to run at 60 FPS without any drops. But on the PC side, you can see the PC at 4K and 1440p is not as stable as the Xbox Series X here. We can see the PC drops into the 50s even at 1440p with no real load on the GPU. We can see we are still dropping into the 50s, which means our CPU is definitely bottlenecked. But don't assume the Xbox is winning just yet, because this is only one area that is very taxing on the CPU. Just consider we have a lot of NPCs here, so in this scene the Xbox has the advantage, considering developers did do a good job at optimizing the Xbox for 60 FPS.
Damn, need to get away.
One thing I learned about Indiana Jones in my very short time playing this game seems to have some CPU intensive areas with a lot of NPCs, but maybe when you go to your mission or certain areas, your CPU usage goes down and your frame rate can go back up. So in this opening scene, we pretty much get a locked 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X, but I'm also able to get a locked 60 FPS on the PC. But on the PC this time, we are actually able to reduce the resolution and get above 110 FPS, which is really cool. We basically get a high refresh rate mode, which is a huge advantage when you have a gaming PC. Okay, so let's take a little time out to actually see how the graphics look. I will tell you guys what I noticed about the graphics, then I will go through a couple frames and point out some of these things that I noticed. Also, for a disclaimer, you will need to watch this video in 4K on a 4K monitor or TV to get a better representation of what this game actually looks like. A lot of you guys just don't seem to understand how important of a job resolution plays in overall graphics. So for the PC, I can say the graphics are a lot better in my opinion. For one, the resolution looks better on the PC, the colors look better, the overall contrast looks better as well. The shadows in the wood looks better, the textures look better most of the time anyway. The fact this GPU can use DLSS, which in my opinion makes for a much better upscale image over whatever the Xbox is using right now. So let's start with this frame. We can see the contrast is a lot better on the PC. We can see the shadows are darker and the overall woods have a darker look, which in my opinion makes for a more realistic lighting for the environment, considering we are surrounded by trees in a wooded area. Now let's look at the tree in Indiana's jacket and even his bag. We can see on the tree it's not so much that the tree is sharper on the PC, but more so that the tree has better colors. This is also the same for the jacket and the bag as well, which kind of creates more detail because the contrast highlights the details. So better colors and better contrast means better graphics. Another big difference I found between the PC graphics and the Xbox was the hair. If you look at this guy here on the PC, you can see the hair is a lot sharper than the Xbox. I noticed this in several frames as well. The hair on the PC appears sharper a lot more times than not. This is another example of the hair being sharper on the PC. The colors and shadows being darker, creating more details for the contrast for the PC. Even the skin being more detailed on the PC as well. More the same for this frame. You can see more details on the skin, the hair and beard is more detailed on the PC. Overall, the resolution looks sharper. For this frame, you can just see how this character has so much more detail on the PC, especially if you're watching in 4K on a 4K monitor. This is just another frame of the same character, and just like the last frame, just a sharper, higher resolution, more detail on the character.
Of death. What of the curse? Superstitions, Atibo. Tranquilo.
Okay, so for the conclusion for this video, the Xbox performance and graphics is still very good and very impressive for a console. I must admit, I remember when reviewers used to say games have not allowed the next gen hardware to really tap into its full capability. Then we fast forward into 2024 going into 2025. I can honestly say I'm more impressed with the next gen hardware more than ever before. And the way developers are able to constantly hit 60 FPS in newer games, this is really good in my opinion, especially when you consider gaming PCs have a hard time with the same newer games. You have to take your hat off to the Xbox Series X and the PS5. But don't get it twisted, I'm not saying next gen consoles outperform gaming PCs. I'm just saying consoles make it a lot easy, while on the PC side, we're pretty much having to wrestle with settings to find our sweet spot. So for the $550 gaming PC with my newer upgraded GPU, I can say the graphics is better and the FPS can be higher, minus those demanding areas. So in this game, I can see the consoles having an advantage in those demanding areas because the game is better optimized for 60 FPS because the developers did their job. But outside of these areas, the gaming PC leaves the consoles behind. So overall, I'm going to give a W to the gaming PC because in my opinion, a capable gaming PC brings forth a better experience when we're talking about graphics and FPS, especially for this title. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe.